All right, guys, welcome to Teach Me Tuesday on, I don't know, the 21st. Yeah, the 21st of February, 2023. Um, can't believe it's already like the end of February. It's ridiculous. Time is flying. Um, all right, so tonight I wanted to sort of get back to basics. And I feel like that we a lot of you, speaking generally, a lot of you in our group joined over the last 3 years when things were not basic and they were not simple because we had to sort of reinvent our company, our business, right? But I want to start with something that some of you may not, well, one of you on here live has heard and one of you has not. So maybe, I don't know, maybe you have. But I'm going to start with this. About 15 years ago, I was a candle holic, and I had every scent known to man in every size, shape, and form of candle. And I had a favorite direct sales company that I bought them from, and I had them lit all the time, every day. And one night I went to bed and I had my pillar candle sitting on a little stand up on my mantle, and I forgot to snuff it out before I went to bed. And I woke up with like a start, like more than a start. I jumped out of bed, I ran out there to the mantle, and thankfully it was okay. It was down to the very bottom, and we averted danger or fire or catastrophe. But at that moment, my heart was like in my throat, and I was super scared to ever warm candle or ever burn candles again. And I needed fragrance in my life. I was and still am a fragrance person. I just need it. It makes me feel good. And I, at that point, said, I'm just going to have to figure out how to live without it because I can't have candles in my house anymore. Well, that same day was the day that I was supposed to go to this party that I had never heard of before. And I had told the hostess, yes, that I would come. And I had told my friend that was in town with me that we were going to go. And so Brenda and I went, and I decided I was going to tell the consultant right then at the beginning that I just wasn't going to be able to buy anything because of my awful story the night before. So I got there and went over and saw these little like lip gloss pots sitting on the table, and they looked so pretty, and they were like this rainbow collection of all these pretty little lip gloss pots is what I thought they were. And they I like sniffed one, and I was like, oh my gosh, they smell so good. And I'm like, I'm just so sorry, Stephanie, I'm not going to be able to buy anything tonight because of this awful thing that just happened. And she goes, well, you're in luck because these candles don't have any flame. They're wickless and they smell amazing, but they're not going to burn your house down. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you have like changed my life, and there is a God. And I am so happy that this is happening. And I thought my life was going to be without fragrance forever and ever. And now it's not. So that was the beginning of my Scentsy journey. And it was powerful then. And every single time I told that story, hi, welcome. Every time I told that story at any kind of party, the connection that I made to my customers or my hostess or my future team members was tenfold what it would have been if I had come in and said, 15 years ago, I loved fragrance and I was looking for a safer way to make my house smell good because I didn't want to burn my house down, and I found Scentsy. That is totally different than the story that I just told. And that's what a story can do. That's how powerful a story can be. And your story is different than mine, but stories along the way of all the different things. Like I have forgotten all the things I used to tell in my parties because I haven't had a home party. Well, I did have one last year, but I have not had one really in 3 years. And those stories are what connected me to my customers and made me feel like, or made them feel like they knew me. because they knew these stories. And we can use them no matter where we are in our life or where we are in our business. We don't have to have a home party. But tonight I'm going to challenge you to do something really brave. But I'll get to that in a second. So, the basics that I'm talking about are something that we haven't really looked at, or I haven't even really thought about in a long time, until this year, until the beginning of 2023, when we've had, things happen and our businesses have sort of slowed down and people are always looking for just a deal. And we have had to really work to get sales compared to the last 2.5 years. So I feel like over the past 2.5 years, we have made it just more difficult. Like, we've come up with these job forms, and we've come up with the project broadcast and the Visly and the Facebook parties and all the things, because we had to. Out of necessity, we came up with these things and different ways to work our business. But if those things aren't working for you, then it's time to go back to the basics and make it really simple. So this is what I want you to think about. Orville, we got to see this training again when we were at the retreat in Houston last month, and it just brought up all these feelings of where I was when I was listening to him speak that the very first time in Las Vegas. And it's called the 4 chords. And basically it's just the basics of an amazing Scentsy business. The first one is do parties. So we are a party plan business, and we have lots of different ways to party. And if you don't have parties now, we keep saying this, you have to find a way to party, because that's the way you are going to find more customers. It's the way you're going to find more hostesses, and it's the way you're going to find team members if you want to grow your team. So have parties. We're going to come back to each one of these. Number 2, you have to sponsor new team members. This business, this compensation plan is the best one out there for direct sales. It is hands down the best. And now maybe it doesn't have the highest percentage of commission on your sales, but it has the best basis for how you're paid in team bonuses. And it has that monthly sales bonus as well. So if you want to work your business and get the optimum paycheck, you need to sponsor new team members. Number 3, you need to give fantastic customer service, because we've been talking about how fantastic customer service is the thing that keeps you relevant. It keeps you in the forefront of your customers' minds, and it makes them believe and trust you that you're going to be around in a month when they run out of wax, and you're not some fly by the seat of your pants kind of Scentsy girl who only does it every 3 months, because that's the minimum. So fantastic customer service, checking on, following up, all the things that we've been talking about. And then number 4, improving ourselves. So we need to be listening to podcasts. We need to be filling our brain with the positive and the good stuff. We need to be reading books or listening to books that give us the positive and lean us towards growth instead of a fixed mindset, right? So those are the 4 chords. That's what Orville believes is the basis of every good Scentsy business. And I believe him because it works. So the first thing that you really need to do, and we did touch on this, especially if you were in the workshop, you heard me talk about this too. You have to know why you're doing it, because knowing why you're doing this business and why you keep doing this business is going to be the thing that makes you work hard. If you just say, I want $200 a month, or I want $2,000 a month even, and just, like I said, pin it up on the wall and put it on your desktop, and say, oh, I can't wait to get that 2,000 in sales. It's not going to happen, because you have no motivation. You have nothing that's driving you. So make sure you're really digging into why you're doing this. It could be like Lindsay said, she wanted $100 for Target every month. You could want to take your kids to Disney World next year. You could want to buy a beach house. You could want to put towards a family vacation. You could want to just go on a girls trip with us amazing Scentsy girls, because we are, and just go to SFR to get away from your family for 4 days and hang out with some really cool chicks and guys too. No matter what it is, you have to figure out why. And then when you sponsor new teamies, you need to help them figure out why. Because when you help them figure out why, they're going to build their business and have a motivation driving them to do all the things. Okay, so let's get back to that basic thing about parties. And I know you might say that you can't find anybody to do a home party, but let me just tell you this quick story. I had a party with about 10 people, a home party with about 10 people. And I walked out of there with like $1,200 in sales. And then the pandemic hit, and I had like 4 parties, Facebook parties, and it took me probably 3 weeks to get to that same 1,200 in sales. So which one do you think I'm going to be wanting to do more of? The home party, because the home party is where you get to share your stories. They're going to come up. They're going to listen to you. You're going to connect with them eye to eye. You are going to be able to let them touch things and smell things. And the home party does not have to be extravagant. Like if you go on Pinterest and look at people's parties, that is not where to find your inspiration. You need to go pick up your starter kit, and you need to call your best friend that would do anything for you and say, hey, can you invite 20 of your friends? You know, only half or 30% are going to come. Can you invite 20 of your friends to come over and sniff the new stuff for spring? And she's going to say yes. And you're going to go over there and you're going to take your kit. You're not going to take a ton of stuff. You're going to fit it in one bag, and you're going to go in there and you're going to put everything out, and you're going to put all the lip gloss pots out, and you're going to let everybody smell and mark up the like it, love it sheet. And you're going to sell a she-ton of Scentsy. That's what happens at home parties. The other thing you're not going to do is you're not going to like take out a catalog and walk them through the catalog. That's not what is going to sell the product. Stories are going to sell the product. They are looking for inspiration. They are looking for passion. They are looking for excitement. They're looking for you to share with them why you love Scentsy so much. They don't need information. They can find information in the catalog, or they'll ask you questions to get the information. They don't need to know how many different light bulbs we have or anything. That's the boring stuff that you can leave for the question and answer period if they have it, right? You need to tell the stories. Tell about my cat Amos, who used to climb up on my counter every single time I would change my wax. The black cat that was like curious and the sweetest thing ever. And he would climb up there and he would sniff the wax, and he would come off with whatever color wax on his chin every single time because he tasted it and smelled it, and he was fine. And if that had been a candle, he would have lit his hair on fire or his whiskers or something. And that's a different story, right? So that's the kind of thing. I mean, I still have customers to this day that used to come to my home parties, and they know about my cat Amos because I told that story. So that's the connection that you can make in a home party. So I am challenging you to get outside of your comfort zone and go book a home party, because it can change your business for sure. All right. The other thing is sponsoring activities. Now, if this isn't for you, if you've decided you're not going to be about growing your team, that's fine. And just to put a plug in, that can change. I have lots of team members now that are leaders that never anticipated being a leader. So just maybe keep an open mind. But those people that you are going to sponsor, guess where you find them? In parties. whether they're home parties or online parties. Texting parties are a little harder because you're not communicating with the people. I mean, you can definitely get your stuff out there. You're going to find them from other people besides just the customers you have right now. Those customers that you have right now are your best referrals. They're your best people to hook you up with the people who would be really good at it. One of the best questions you can ask one of your customers that says, no, I don't need anything right now is, that's totally great. I know you stocked up last month. Do you happen to know anybody that would be really good at doing what I do? Or do you know anybody that loves fragrance that I might need to send my link to my catalog to? So they can be your referrals, and that's the way to find new people. All right, so let's see. Another thing that you really should consider when you're trying to up your business and find a way to get back to the basics is to sort of surround yourself with those who are positive and uplifting, and not surround yourself with those who are negative or bashing Scentsy or saying all bad stuff. Like when the flash sale ends in 8 hours instead of 24, people are like, ah. But instead you could say, that is some really amazing stuff that our customers bought everything that they thought was going to last for 24 hours in 8. So we have some good stuff. So just remember that what you put in, what you let in is what's going to grow. What you focus on is what's going to grow. So if you focus on parties, if you focus on sponsoring, if you focus on positivity, then that's going to grow. If you focus on the negative and the post here and there that are like questioning or bashing or whatever, that's what's going to grow. So just make sure that you're surrounding yourself with positivity, and also remember, we have this amazing company. We were just named one of Forbes in the Forbes top 500 mid-sized company employers yesterday, again, for like the 4th time in a row. So we have an amazing company that we work for. So fill your mind with that stuff so that you have that in your back pocket if people ask about Scentsy. A lot of people won't join something if they don't know like their background and the organizational stuff. One of the best things that I ever heard Orville say, and this is speaking volumes, he said Scentsy will never go public. We will never sell Scentsy. We will never make it a public company. And that means that they will hold on to the compensation plan and the titles, and our direct sales contract is intact. You know, all these people out here that are losing their direct sales businesses because the direct sales company decides to go public or to sell to other people, and then they get out into Target or whatever, and then they have no businesses left and their titles are gone. Scentsy's never going to do that. That's like a promise from Orville. So we're not going anywhere. As leaders, those of you who are already leaders, and by leaders, I mean, if you have one person in your downline, you are a leader. So the best way to train your team is to show them what you're doing, is to teach them, okay, I had a home party today. This is what I did, or bring them along with you to the home party. Or if a downline has something amazing that happened in her sales or something, ask her to share it on Flava. Ask her to go live when she sets up for a home party, her first launch party or something. If they come to you with a question, ask them to post the question on the group, because if they have the question, at least 2 more people are going to have that question. So if they're posting it on the group and other people are helping answer that question, it's a community like it's supposed to be. So The last thing I'm going to leave you with is find someone that can be sort of an accountability partner for you. Maybe it's another person who's the same title as you. Maybe you met them in one of the workshops. Maybe it's someone, if you just started, especially, you can find someone who wants to join with you and sort of start at the same place you are. Maybe you can be accountability partners. Don't necessarily think it has to be like your director or your sponsor. Find someone that you can like bounce ideas off of, and that that, Chelsea, you can collaborate with, right? And you can call and say, man, I thought this was going to work really well and it didn't. Can you think of a way that I can redo it and do it in a different way? And they can have a totally different perspective and help you come up with something brand new for what you thought might have worked and it didn't. So hopefully you know by now that Flava is our group, right? And everyone is welcome to post their questions, to share their what has worked for them, to post pictures, to post templates if you are creative and you want to share something you created in Canva, something like that. Anything that you want to share that's going to be helpful to other consultants, we want you to post there. And we are in the middle of this incentive, little incentive week thing that I came up with for the end of February called February Fire. And we're posting sparks along the way, which are supposed to be helping you figure out how to get that PRV so that you get your paycheck where you want it to be, right? So if you have a spark, if you have something that's worked for you, go share it and make sure you do a hashtag spark on it so that we can find them very easily. Okay. All right. Open for questions or input for anyone now. I can stop recording.